regards to Homicide 17 that we've been working on since mid-afternoon on Saturday. And I think we have now a fulsome picture of what happened in relation to this disturbing investigation. The deceased in this case is, his name is Ludlow GILLESPIE. He's 25 years. The accused in this case, who's now in custody, she's charged with second-degree murder, is Melissa Lewis, and she's 24 years old. And this is the narrative of what took place on Saturday afternoon. It was the 29th of May, it was approximately 2:34 p.m., and the deceased, the accused father, and a 6-year-old child, a female, are driving northbound on Windermere Avenue from Lakeshore. There appears to be an ongoing argument within the vehicle between the deceased, who is the driver, and his common-law wife, who is seated in the rear driver's seat directly behind the deceased. During the time where the vehicle is operating, the accused produced a knife and she stabs the deceased while the vehicle is operating in the neck. Witnesses within that particular area have been interviewed by the police through the weekend, and they indicate to us that before they actually see the vehicle, the loud and sustained screaming coming from the 6-year-old child is what draws their attention to the vehicle that's coming northbound on Windermere Avenue. The vehicle comes to a rest on the east side of the street, mounting the sidewalk, so the two right side wheels are on the sidewalk, and all of the occupants exit the vehicle. The deceased immediately collapsed, bleeding from the neck, onto the pavement, and is immediately vital signs absent. The deceased was transported to St. Joseph's Hospital, and he was immediately pronounced deceased. The accused father, who I indicated was in the vehicle, he is seated in the front passenger seat, and his name is David WINN, W-I-N-N, he's 54 years, picked up the child and fled the scene without waiting for the police to arrive. The child was located by investigators later that same evening and was interviewed, but as of this point, Mr. WINN has not been located. As a result of the circumstances in which the 6-year-old child witnessed the stabbing in the car, the homicide squad contacted the Toronto Children's Aid Society, and they are conducting an investigation with regards to the circumstances of the event in which the child witnessed the homicide in the vehicle and the circumstances in which she will now be living in. Numerous members of the community provided statements with regards to the narrative of the events once the vehicle stopped, but at this point the only interior narrative with regards to what went on in the vehicle comes from a 6-year-old girl. As I indicated, Mr. WINN is not cooperating with the investigation, and as it stands now, his daughter, Melissa Lewis, remains in custody and was arrested at the scene and was transported at that particular time. The homicide squad is urging Mr. WINN to contact our investigators with regards to giving us an opportunity to appropriately record his observations. And I certainly can appreciate the most uncomfortable position that he finds himself in with regards to witnessing his daughter murdering her common-law husband. But the difficulty is that's what took place. That is the truthful narrative. And I've stood here many, many times and I've said, you know, that we encourage witnesses to do the right thing with regards to coming forward and cooperating with the police. But this is truly a circumstance when it is the right thing for Mr. WINN to do, and he should do it as soon as possible. And I encourage him to do so, and in doing so, it may ultimately relieve a 6-year-old child from having to appear in court in a public setting and testify to the murder of her father.